All right, guys, welcome to my build guide for Renekton in Split 3, patch 14.19. Now, I'm sure everything will be changed by next patch, and the meta will be more figured out and what we need to build against champions, and a ton of items will be changed. But for now, to help you guys with your climbs, because I'm sure everyone wants to know, what do I build right now? You know, what do I actually build right now to win games? I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to explain every item and what was changed. Tried that. It's kind of boring. I'm going to just give you some good builds and I'm going to explain it. So if you were watching me before this patch, while I streamed like 5 times before this patch came out, what I was building was a Eclipse Stridebreaker. I think this build was and is completely OP. I think this combination together is completely insane power spikes. I think it's so much better than Eclipse Stride, or Cleaver Stride. I think it's not even comparable. Like the amount of damage and you know, that the passive that Eclipse gives you and the synergy it gives you with Stridebreaker and Stridebreaker's active and utility is like completely insane. And what you do is you go W max second. Yes, we're not going E max second like everyone started doing. I don't think it's actually good. I think we baited ourselves into going E max second when they gave us some crumbs. They're like, here you go. Here's a Q max, an E max, and an R, a Q buff, a E buff, and an R buff. And then we were all like, cool, like W max sucks. Let's max E every game. It's like, no, especially not with Stridebreaker. I think it's so OP to max W second, especially with haste rune, because we look at fully stacked runes, our W cooldown is 6.15, and while they're not stunned, they're Stridebreaker slowed, or we're Eing, or like whatever combination of 2 E's, Stridebreaker, and stuns with a 6-second stun. It's like really OP. There's very little counterplay. Coming off like a flank and Stridebreakering 2 people, 3 people is really OP. It just gives you so much control, so much damage, so much snowballing, rushing Eclipse too. If you're against a ranged champion, rush Stridebreaker, sure. Like rush Stridebreaker, always prioritize Phage over Tiamat. Getting you know, Eclipse, boots, and then Phage is very strong too. But this is the core of the main build, and yes, there is another build too that I will go over, but this page usually flat HP, this page usually D blade start, but we can also go D shield. This is the main part of the build, and before it was very simple. It's like Cleaver Sterix were the best items. You'd build those after like every single time. Now Cleaver took a pretty big hit, lost 15 AD. You know, every item was nerfed in the whole game. If you're not paying attention, every single item in the whole game was nerfed 5 to 12%. Every bruiser item is the 12%, except for Death Stance. Death Stance actually only took 100 gold nerf, didn't lose any AD. This has become one of the best items in the game, in my opinion, because it really didn't get changed that much. I love slamming this third item if I can. Then I'll get MR. Guess what's a good item now? Spectre's Cowl and Visage are actually good items now. This was nerfed by 5 magic resist. This was buffed by 10 magic resist, so it's actually pretty good to slam. There are angles where Force of Nature is better if you can actually, you know, stack up the passive quickly, like versus Singed. Kanegurken is decent versus Poke most of the time though. Build Visage, it synergizes very well with our build, and then we could go, you know, like a Sterix here, the Cleaver. This is a very well, actually we don't have boots. I build this a lot. I've been building this a lot. Visage works with these items very well. We can get like a Cleaver instead of this. Maybe we have Tabby. We can get a what else was it? I don't remember. But basically this item's good. Visage synergizes with these items very well. This is a very good full build. Really depends on what you're against. There's no real cookie cutter build because the best items in the game are situational items. Like Death Stance, after these first 2 items, Death Stance is a situational item. You do not get Death Stance every time. Is it your best option? Absolutely. Sterix used to be. Guess what? Sterix got changed very heavily. Its shield is 60, works off 60% of bonus HP instead of 80%, which is a big deal. Renekton is probably the only champ in the game. Well, actually, that's not true because Grasp champions get a lot of HP for free and Biscuits get HP for free. So Camille actually can build this after Triforce still, and other champs can probably do that. But only non-Grasp champion that can actually build this with one other HP item, because your R just gives you so much HP. Like this shield, 850 is not as big as before, obviously, but in comparison to how much damage people are doing now, it's actually not bad. It's actually like pretty good. You know, you get HP afterwards, like Kindle Gem, like Cleaver, like cool. Sterix is still good. Once you hit level 16 ult, it's a really big shield, like 1200 HP shield with ults, with level 16 ult and like full build, and then Visage can ramp it up. Pretty good, right? So now like this is basically like the build. These are your options. You can also do Blade of the Rune King is also a good item right now. So Blade of the Rune King, good item. Cleaver, decent item. Sterix, decent item. Death Stance, good item. You know what else is a good item and I like going third sometimes? Deadman's. And this item is very fun. It has anti-slow. It's good versus champions that like kite you, whether they like CC and then run away like Jax or something, or there's just like a lot of range champs. I build this against like Jax plus range champs or something like that, a decent amount. I think this is a good item. This is a good item. These are decent items. You know what I actually think Hullbreaker is an okay item, but it's hard to find slots for it. Because if you build it late game, a lot of time you don't really get any use from it. But if you build it before third, it's not good. Just don't do it. Trust me, it's not good. Third item, it's decent, but it's usually not better than anything else. It actually gives you less damage, maybe the same damage in a 1v1 as Cleaver, maybe slightly more. It gives you less damage. I feel like you need to be versus squishies too. It gives you less damage in a team fight. Yes, it does damage to towers. It actually gives like huge oomph to towers, but it's hard. It's like so inconsistent. And every time I try it, I end up like trying to get use out of it. And like no one's letting me. And I just like, I can't play the way I want to play. And it's so meh. So okay item. I don't think it's bad. I think you can kind of make builds for it, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay. This item sucks. Don't build this item. I'm not going to go into detail on these items because it's a waste of time. If you want to like debate amongst other people, this is my build guide. I'm trying to tell you what are good builds. Don't build this item. It's trash on Renekton. I don't think this item's worth thinking about. Yes, there's some slots. GA, there's some slots you can build it, but Death Stance and Deadman's are better for the most part. This is more like, so Death Stance is more like, I'm like clean up in a fight. My team has engage and stuff. And, you know, my team has engage and like I'm heavier damage, I'm heavier cleanup, and I'm gonna be able to use the Death Stance passive. Deadman's is like, okay, my team has high damage, I'm more engage, and I want to be able to catch people and like make stuff happen. And then GA is like, you know, later game option. I'm gonna die in a fight, but it's not gonna be worth it for them. I'm going to die. There's nothing I can do about it, but they're gonna have to use big cooldowns, and then I just have GA. Okay, this item, not good. There's always a better option. People ask me about this item so much. Unless you refuse to build Cleaver and you want to stack HP because you're a noob that loves having high HP and then getting shredded anyways, while you build 5 HP items and no resistance and no damage, then sure, build Shojin, but it's not a good item. I would just not build this item. Hexplate, not a good item. Maw is a decent item. There's some spots. Obviously, you can rush Maw into AP. You can rush Maw into like heavy AP topside. And there are some spots versus like heavy AP teams where you want like a Maw and a Visage, and you have like, you know, you have a build like this. Okay, let me mention boots before we get into the other build. Boots. I know Mercury Treads, they're 1300 gold. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's terrible. But they're so OP. Like there's so many games where you look at the enemy team, you're like, those boots are fucking OP. Like those boots just look OP, man. And you build them. And they're 1300 gold and it sucks. And you usually want to finish your first item, maybe even get like something like this and then Merc Treads. But yeah, they're still good sometimes. But obviously you build them less often. A little bit less often now. Sometimes you might want Swifties, like your versus Nasus or something, or a Zillion. And Steel Caps are OP. I build steel caps as much as I can, like 25 armor, 12% attack resistances. Like these boots got, you know, buffed a decent amount, and everyone's doing less damage, so they're even more effective. Steel caps are really, really good. I build them often. You don't really build this very often. I would love to build symbiotic souls, but you have to pretty much rush them like first, second base. After that, it's like not really worth it. Okay. I mean, that's mostly it for the build. Like build this pretty much like every game, something like this. It's really strong right now. It's really good. W max second, especially like don't be afraid to stay in side lane. You have tons of kill potential with these two items in side lane, like tons. Obviously you don't want to be sitting under tier 2 tower, like you want to push and move or like set stuff up, whatever. But you can do a lot in side lane. And the reason I was saying that is because your level 16 spike, especially with everyone doing less damage, your level 11 spike and your level 16 spike are so big. Your R does so much damage and you are so unkillable. Okay, for the other build, I like PTA more often for this build. I like alacrity when I'm going PTA, especially if I'm doing an E-dash trade level 1 versus like a range champ. It's really nice to have alacrity. You could go attack speed chart. I usually go alacrity. I'm trying to figure out how necessary haste is to scale because it's really, really nice. This build, I'm sure is not surprising, is a full AD build. Eclipse, Blade of the Rune Kings, Cerilda is the main build. This is the main build for full AD. Still just like Eclipse playstyle. Eclipse is just really OP rush item. It's cheaper than Blade of the Rune King. It's still really good into tanks. And this is best going these two items for, you know, heavy HP stacking tanks, but you can go this for like full AD whenever you want. You can also go Blade of the Rune King rush with a U moves. It's totally not bad. You can start off building a Dirk if you want. You can go, you know, Dirk first, Blade of the Rune King, U moves, and then obviously your serrated Dirk is gone. It's like totally fine to do that and just like stack damage early. You know, these three items plus a Dirk, really, really high damage. But what changed about Cerilda's is you don't need lethality for it anymore. It's just 30% flat armor pen. Really, really great. What you build after this, Profane, it's, you know, this item got nerfed a lot, but it slots in really well. You could probably get away with normal Hydra, and you can get away with Ravenous here. You know, say you have don't have Yumus, especially. You can actually get away with Stridebreaker, not Ravenous. Stridebreaker, yes, your damage is going to fall off a bit, but if you don't need the damage, it's really not bad to just go with Stridebreaker. I think Death Dance is good in this slot. Where's my Eclipse? I think Death Dance fourth here is not bad. I think it's not bad. Do like this. So we're trying to figure out, you know, this fourth and fifth item. I think Death Dance is really not bad. I think Profane is not bad. Maw is okay sometimes. This is actually a Hullbreaker slot. What did I just do? This is actually a Hullbreaker slot. You could totally build Hullbreaker fourth here would actually be okay. And then after that, you could get Asterix. You can go. I don't know why it undoes like this. It's really annoying. Actually, maybe that one was my fault. You can get Deadman's. Is actually not bad here. It's not bad. Obviously, your damage is going to fall off. But if you just need to W people for your team to kill them, it's like really not bad. Your other options are like Edge of Night, Yumu's fourth. Edge of Night got more expensive. It's kind of not the best item, but it's okay. You could do a GA. These are all your options. Really depends on the game. Super situational. Usually you won't have to worry about it. Build whatever you feel most comfortable with. If I had to do cookie cutter, it would probably be like, Profane GA or something, or Profane Edge of Night. I'm not entirely sure. One more build. I have one more build for you guys. I'm really excited to try out this build. So if we look at this item here, this beautiful component, it builds into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess 6, 7, 8 and then 10 more. It it builds into 18 items. Believe it or not, they changed it so it builds into 18 items. And guess what? Umuz is one of our items. Death Stance is one of our items. Hullbreaker is one of our items. Serix, not Shojin, this item's trash. Cleaver, Eclipse, Profane. Meh. But yeah, it's like triple pickaxe. Four pickaxes, like just 100 AD for like pretty cheap. How much gold actually is this? They're each 875. So it's like I don't know, like it's just under 1800. It's like 1750, 2500 gold or something. That has to be wrong. Is that wrong? Hold on, I'm gonna do the math real fast on a calculator. 875 times 4. 3500. No shit. Okay, that makes way more sense. 3500 gold. I actually think this could be pretty fun. Like, I don't know, it's just 100 flat AD for like not that much, and then you just build into, you just slam Eclipse after, slam Umuz after, Blade the Ring King after, and like Profane after, like whatever you want to do. I think it could be a good time. If anyone tries this build and wins with it and pops off, please let me know. I think you need PTA for this build for sure. Maybe 3 points QW max. But yeah, that's it for my build guide. Guys, I tried to keep it short. Tried to give you, you know, the main build and not over explain everything. Flip Stridebreaker, very OP. Print Elo with it. I hope your split 3 is good. And until they change every item again and they nerf and buff everyone and everything in the game, I will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.